Hello and welcome. My name is Ben Pullen and I am one of your hosts for today for the Smarter Mobility Africa Unveiling. We're really excited about what we're going to be doing with you here today. And it's just such an incredible lineup that we've got coming on. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to give you an insight into an interview that I had earlier this week with Vusi Thembekwayo, which is about one of the initiatives that we'll be launching today. So let me share that with you and I'll be back in just a minute.
Thank you for joining me here today to share your thoughts around the challenges that projects are facing when launching, growing and accessing funding. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed, Ben. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. And blessed as well. Thank you, Vusi. So you joined us 6 months ago at Smarter Mobility Africa Summit, where you delivered an amazing keynote focused on startup scaling.
Right.
But you also spent, I think, maybe 3 or 4 hours meeting with the companies that were present at the Startup Mobility Awards. I think you had a chance to meet, with over 30 of them, if I'm not mistaken, which is just amazing. And I know how much they loved it. There was a book signing. They got to spend some time where you really delved into what they were doing, the challenges they faced, and the feedback and insights that you got there. We then debriefed a couple of weeks later at your office, and you shared with me that those startups were facing a number of challenges. And it was that feedback that actually has contributed towards a new initiative that we're launching. So I wanted to revisit the feedback that you.
And we'll be coming back to that feedback very shortly. Thank you, everyone. We just had a mini change of the deck that we've been working with, but we're all back on track. Thank you so much. So as I was saying, I'm the Group Director of Mobility at VUCA Group and Smarter Mobility Africa. And today we'll be unveiling the Smarter Mobility Africa Summit 2021, all that's happening and all that's new. Now, the official hashtag, and we must mention this because it's one that has been trending for many, many years, is hashtag SMA Summit. Please make sure you're using that as you do any of your posts, but it's also a great backlog of the history of this event that we've been running since 2019. So click on that hashtag and get to see all the amazing events, videos, posts, and bits of insights that have been shared. So today, we'll be getting interactive with you. We have a number of tickets to be won, which is something that hopefully you've seen all over the different media platforms that we operate in. Now, let me just say, you can only win a ticket if you've signed up to join us on Hopin. If you haven't, the links are in all of those social media feeds. Sign up to join us on Hopin and make sure that you're present with us when we draw the winners of the tickets. Because if you're not present, unfortunately, we will be moving on to the next winner and you will not win the business class pass. So make sure you're there. We will also be asking you lots of questions, which you can comment in the chat box and here in Hopin, in the chat box here, which you'll see on your right. Or if you're joining us on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter, you can also comment there. I have screens up around me here, so does my team, so we can see the comments, and we'd love to hear your feedback and answers to some of the questions that we'll be sharing. So the first question, most important one, we want to know where you're from. Which village, town, or city are you joining us from? And I'll just give you a couple of seconds to paste that in. I'd love to just see how that's looking. Let me add a bit of music in whilst we wait. I really want to get a feel for where everyone's coming in. Let's see, what have we got coming in here? Great, we've got Cape Town, Lagos, I'm seeing, Pretoria, Cairo. Where else have we got people coming in from? Let's see a few more. Kenya, Barcelona, but usually Cape Town. Oh, very nice. Bangkok, wow. There we go. Okay, we've got a global audience. That's exactly what we wanted. That's exactly what we expected. So let's proceed with the show. Thanks for sharing where you're from, everyone. All right. We have a really exciting day for you. But let's just touch on what we're all about, because some of you might be joining us for the first time. Now, I've been leading Smarter Mobility Africa Summit since 2019, and we're in our 6th year. Small round of applause, please, everyone. 6 years of running this incredible platform. Now, at Smarter Mobility Africa, our mission is about embracing the new urban era through smarter mobility. The greatest prize for any city in the 21st century is achieving the new urban era. It is a place where social, environmental, and economic opportunities will be 10x. They grow exponentially, and that's what we're all about. Yes, we focus on mobility, but the end goal is this new urban era. Now, the challenges of an old urban era, I don't need to explain to you what the old urban era is. You would already know countless cities across Africa and the world that have been experiencing this rapid population growth with an old urban era mindset and all the negatives that go with that. You might even be living in one today, and you might be joining us from one today. So I've got some challenges that we've come up with on the screen, but I'd love to hear, and you can even repeat the ones that really align with you. What are the challenges that you're seeing being operated in this old urban era mindset? So what are the challenges that you see from operating in an old urban era mindset in the city that you're in or the city that you spend time in? So let's just give a couple of seconds there. I'd love to just hear your thoughts on that. Let's see what comes up. Got all these challenges. Which challenges do you see from the old urban era mindset? What are the challenges that your city are experiencing from population growth, from challenges with the weather, the climate? Okay. So some of these challenges, you can see them up on the screen here. It's around reduced quality of life. It's this unorganized development. It's reduced safety. There's a tourism loss. The cities are losing out on tourism, energy loss, and not having energy efficient mobility or means of fueling that mobility. So there's a lot of challenges. But what we're working on really is this new urban era. This new urban era where the benefits are aplenty. And our focus at Smarter Mobility is how do we improve how we move people and goods to embrace this new urban era. And this new urban era can only be achieved with the integrated smarter mobility networks. And that's where we fit in. So the benefits of a new urban era are evident, and those cities that have followed an integrated smarter mobility path are achieving that. They consist of things like economic growth, urban innovation, enhanced safety, resilience and adaptability, equity and inclusion. There are just so many. I've listed a few, and I'm sure there are many that you're aware of in the work that you're doing to build smarter mobility. But why now? Why is this also important today? It's because Africa is going through such a rapid urban transformation, and we're here to assist African cities through that transformation. Within 25 years, as I'm sure you know, we'll have an additional 2 billion people living on it. And over 1 billion of those people will be in Africa, with the majority in urban areas. What's more, the transport sector accounts for 37% of total CO2 emissions. And the global demand for passenger transport is expected, wait for this, to nearly triple by 2050. So this anticipated growth in demand, coupled with an accelerated shift to low carbon economies, will create substantial challenges and opportunities for cities, the sector, and the companies and communities that depend on it. So I'm sure you all appreciate the challenge and opportunity that sits before us right now. But why smarter mobility? Why is my team and I, and why are you so focused on building smarter mobility ecosystems? Well, how we move people and goods is really the enabler to almost all of the Sustainable Development Goals, the UN's SDGs. Put simply, we cannot achieve the SDGs without building integrated smarter mobility systems. Think of the new development, the new community, or the new school or university, which is an incredible asset in itself, but nobody can reach it. There are maybe no transport options at all, or maybe it's just a highway and everybody's expected to get there by car. You can see the challenges that come, but it goes further than that. There are the health of our cities, the pollution, the environment, the list goes on and on. But we really believe that the enabler to all those SDGs comes from transport. Without those transport systems, we simply cannot achieve them. And this is the same for the African Union's 2063 plan, the Growing Gauteng Together 2030 vision, and all of the visions and strategies set across Africa and the world. Mobility will either be the enabler or disabler. So we really have a big opportunity with transport. Now, this year, we're concentrating on a number of core mobility sectors: green fleets, expanding public transport, and we'll be including rail, active mobility and universal access, and bus rapid transit. Now, why are we focused on those areas? We believe that this is where we can have the most impact in achieving the new urban era today. This is where you and we can have the most impact today. So let's have a mini break as we get this first ticket up for grabs. So we're just going to work on that in the background because we want to make sure that we are selecting a person at random. So let's just get that up together. So we'll be back in just a second. Okay, right, we're almost there. We've got the randomizer coming up in the background. It's a really important moment for us and for you because one of you is going to win a business class pass. Now, this is one of 5 that will be up for grabs today. We'll be doing one now, one in about 15 minutes, another one 15 minutes after that, and then we've got 2 right at the end. So again, you've got to be present on the call, on the hopping call. So when your name is announced, we need you to come forward on the chat and acknowledge that you're there and that you're going to win the ticket with us. Right, so let's bring in my colleague Rhea. Hi, Rhea. Let's see. We're going to get the randomizer up from Rhea's side. So that will come up in the background. It's a new technology that we're using for this, which is really exciting. So thanks for your patience. Here we go, right. So, is this the winner? Wow. Zinkle, if you can come forward on the chat and claim that ticket, that business class ticket will be yours. Okay. If you can come forward on the chat, that new business class ticket will be yours. Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds to claim that ticket. Otherwise, we will, unfortunately, have to announce another one. We've got 5 seconds left. I'm really sorry, Zinkle. We're going to have to draw another one. Okay, let's draw another winner. Oh, I love the sound effects. Brian. Brian, please come forward. Let's see, Brian. We'll give you 15 seconds, and then the program unveiling show must go on. Okay, do we have Brian on the call? Got 5 seconds left. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to continue from here, and in the next round, we'll have 2 tickets up for grabs. So let's continue with the show. Now, for this next part, I would love to call my colleague, Anazi Zote Piper, our content and stakeholder manager at Smarter Mobility Africa, to join me on this exciting part as we unveil some new elements. Anazi, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks, Ben. Very excited to reveal what's going to happen at Smarter Mobility Africa.
Me too, me too. And thanks so much for all the hard work that you've put in for 5 years now to keep building this each year. Let's have a look at what is new and what to expect.
All right, so we have an amazing exhibition floor to start with.
Absolutely, we do. We've got the new mobility investment projects, the village and the pitches, which Elodie, our colleague, will join soon to give you some updates on.
And we also have some amazing site visits planned for the 4th of October.
We have the ride and drive experiences back again, both the micro-mobility test track inside the exhibition hall, as well as a test track outside with all of the vehicles available to experience. We also have the Gala Dinner back for the 2nd year running. Now, the Smarter Mobility Gala Dinner was a true highlight last year. It was incredible. The Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa came to join us and delivered a keynote.
And one of my personal favorites is the Women in Mobility Breakfast, which is taking place on the 3rd of October in the morning plenary session.
Absolutely. And then we have our core stages, the green fleets and expanding public transport, as well as 3 partner stages this year, the rail stage, the bus rapid transit, and the active mobility and universal access stage.
Yes, and we also had quite a lot of interest for our workshops and training sessions, which will take place on the 4th of October as well.
Absolutely. What an introduction that is. And the Mobility Hub, the brand new Mobility Hub, Africa's hub for mobility news and insights, we'll be giving you a sneak peek of that today, ahead of launching that next week. Anazi, what an amazing lineup that we've got for this year's event, and you're going to be unpacking much of that over the next few minutes.
Exactly, quite a lot happening, and I'm excited to get into the details. So, just looking at our stages this year, we're focusing on these stages because we want to draw from our core focus areas. So, to start with, let's look at our first stage, the Green Fleet stage. So,
Absolutely.
this is a guide for all fleets of all shapes and sizes for achieving a smooth transition to zero emission vehicles. And some of our core focus areas are reducing emissions and operating costs, battery swapping solutions. So here we demonstrate the potential of battery swapping as a viable alternative for traditional charging methods. And then we also look at the developing charging infrastructure. So here experts will discuss strategies for building and optimizing the charging infrastructure. So, over the 2 days, this stage will feature a diverse range of speakers from various sectors and countries, offering a global perspective on clean fleet initiatives. And the expertise will equip you with the knowledge and the tools needed to successfully transition your fleet to zero emissions. Now, let's go over to our public transport stage. This stage is actually in partnership with Visa. It tackles a crucial role of public transport in Africa's urban landscape. And over the 2 days, there will be an opportunity to explore the challenges and opportunities through the lens of urban planning, formal and informal integration, and safety for all. And some of the key discussion topics that we'll be covering are examining the policy changes needed to enhance public transport infrastructure and ridership, We'll look at unveiling innovative solutions to integrate informal transport into the broader safer ecosystem. We'll explore the feasibility and implementation of bus rapid transit in African cities. So by the end of the 2 days, you will leave the stage understanding the complexities of creating a safe, inclusive, and efficient public transport system for Africa. We also have the rail stage. Now, this stage is in collaboration with a partner that we will be announcing very soon, so stay tuned. This stage aims to ignite collaboration between the stakeholders and to promote rail as the backbone of efficient public transport. So, here we have engaging discussions and presentations that will spark vital exchanges between delegates and speakers and partners. This discussion promises to be very engaging, and we will focus on the key themes such as sustainability, infrastructure development, regional integration, investment, third party access, and road to rail integration for urban mobility. We hope that by addressing these critical themes, the rail stage will be able to solidify its position as the most sustainable and efficient mode of transport for our future.
Absolutely. And one that goes hand in hand with the rail stage is the active mobility and universal access stage. Now, this stage also will be organized in partnership with some partners, of which we'll be sharing details very, very soon. We're really excited about this partnership. But essentially, the active mobility and universal access stage, it promotes human-powered transport such as cycling and walking, which is the basis for the new urban era when it comes to smart cities, safer cities, and economically thriving cities and towns. Fortunately, the majority of African cities currently move around with human-powered transport options. However, this is often in the context of dangerous environments where people experience safety issues from private cars, dangerous street designs, as well as crime. So this stage is a really important part of Smarter Mobility Africa, and we can't wait to announce the partners very, very soon.
That takes us to our advisory board, where Smarter Mobility Africa just wouldn't be here with the dedication and the expertise from our advisory. So this is an opportunity to actually just thank them for crafting the successful program, which tackles the most pressing challenges, and it also explores the most exciting opportunities for the new urban era through smarter mobility. So the advisory board's commitment to shaping the future of mobility in this content is just truly an inspiration. So thank you once again to our advisory for being a driving force behind the success of this program. And now I'd like to call up my colleague, Elodie, who will be introducing us to a new feature in the program, which is Mobility Investment Projects. Hello, Elodie.
Hi,
Elodie.
Hi, both of you. Thanks, and really well done on securing such an impressive ad board. You make me really excited to be part of the webinar first, but also of the journey that Smarter Mobility Africa has been. So obviously, before I share more about this exciting new feature we are adding to the event, I'm going to give the floor back to Ben, who recently took a trip down memory lane and connected with someone that you should know, Vusi Thembekwayo, to discuss the importance of injecting capital into projects across the continent.
Thank you for joining me here today to share your thoughts around the challenges that projects are facing when launching, growing, and accessing funding. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed, Ben. How are you?
I'm very well, very well. And blessed as well. Thank you, Vusi. So you joined us 6 months ago at Smarter Mobility Africa Summit, where you delivered an amazing keynote focused on startup scaling.
Right.
But you also spent, I think, maybe 3 or 4 hours meeting with the companies that were present at the Startup Mobility Awards. I think you had a chance to meet, with over 30 of them, if I'm not mistaken, which is just amazing. And I know how much they loved it. There was a book signing. They got to spend some time where you really delved into what they were doing, the challenges they faced. And the feedback and insights that you got there, we then debriefed a couple of weeks later at your office, and you shared with me that those startups were facing a number of challenges. And it was that feedback that actually has contributed towards a new initiative that we're launching. So I wanted to revisit the feedback that you received from the startups in October, and also see if there's any other challenges or feedback that have come up since with any of the companies that you meet with across Africa.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. So first, I want to congratulate you on putting together that summit, because when I got the invitation to attend, I was excited to come. And then when I arrived there, I was really, really heartened by what you had put together, not only in terms of the startups you had in the room, but also the large industry players who were there. And more importantly, the government stakeholders who were also there, and how you'd created this campfire, right, in this conference around which all of the various stakeholders could congregate and really discuss mobility. It hadn't dawned on me until that conference that mobility is actually a dignity question. This wasn't something that I'd come to think of. And then when I started engaging with some of the partners that you had at the conference, some of the exhibitors, some of the companies, some of the startups, I then realized that actually a lot of the work that they were doing was solving dignity, right? And that really kind of turned my head around thinking about mobility as a fundamental dignity question. Obviously, after my keynote, I had some time to spend with the startups. Anybody who knows me knows that I love spending time with startup and scale-up owners. It fuels me, listening to these incredible people who are building, and often just building off faith. They just have this idea around something they're doing, and they're like, I'm going to make this work. And in against all of the contemporary evidence that suggests what they're doing doesn't work, they just keep going. And a lot of the feedback that came out was first around ready available risk funding. There are substantial pools of debt funding in the marketplace, but it's that early stage risk capital, the long capital, that allows these founders and entrepreneurs to think, to scale, to test, to trial, to go from proof of concept, minimum viable product, all the way through to product market fit, and then actually scaling that. There's a dearth in that space around the risk funding to provide for that. The second is around market access, right? And a lot of that market access is attached to the networks and having the right networks of the right people in the right spaces so that they can grow and scale. And then the third is around the technical skill. Building a business is an incredibly technical exercise because you need not only the management expertise, but also the operational expertise in building and scaling a business. And then you need the technical management skill to manage people, manage P&Ls, and a number of people building and starting businesses just have never had the opportunity to develop those skills over time. And what I found interesting around what you had done was that you had created this platform where these entrepreneurs were coming together with some seasoned business players. And I remember saying to us, like, there's a real opportunity here to put together a platform that could operate as some sort of capital platform, VC fund, or something like this, that helps these entrepreneurs take their businesses and put them in front of investors and then take them to next.
That's brilliant. And the feedback that you shared has really helped to shape the new initiative that we'll be sharing in just a minute. But firstly, I just want to thank you for the kind words you said about the event and the platform we've built. I'm glad it came across that way because that's definitely been the intention. And I think my team and I, we really saw the dignity challenge, but actually the way that you would put it across in your keynote helped to just contextualize exactly that challenge that it's causing. It's definitely a dignity thing, and it happens on many different levels to many as well. So something that we're really keen to solve, as well as the amazing and incredible business opportunities that come from that.
Absolutely. Let me just say before we move on is that I think one of the missing pieces for South Africans is in thinking about social equality and redress is we've thought around how do we disrupt the spatial planning of the government pre-1994, but we hadn't really thought about how do we enable mobility across each of those spaces, right? And so for me, when I saw, I was like, oh, that's actually so smart, right? Because it seems so obvious, but it isn't obvious. And then the solutions to actually do it are even more complex, because they've got to make economic sense on a unit economics basis, and that's not always immediately evident. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you've really touched on one of the key points there. And I think the solution for many years has been build new developments and then connect these with roads and highways. And that's worked up to a certain point, but there's two challenges with that. One is that when you get too many people driving cars, you then end up with way too much congestion and pollution, and it actually works against the people driving those vehicles. And then obviously not everybody can afford a car, or maybe a household can't have more than two cars, or one car, so you end up with someone still moving around without a car. So if you don't have one, you're kind of stuck. So yeah, we've gone down that path of using car as a solution, but it has a ceiling, and cars are amazing, but car dependency is not so good.
And obviously, you've made the point, right? One of the least spoken about challenges, particularly you see it in fast urbanizing spaces. So think here about places such as India, China. I travel there fairly frequently, and you just notice the amount of pollution in the air as a function of the rapid urbanization and the requirements for mobility. And what I love about the way you guys have tackled the problem is you've thought about making mobility smarter. Right. So it's not just about creating mobility, but also creating mobility that is socially conscious, mobility that doesn't destroy the environment, mobility that does add to society. That's a much harder thing to do. That's a much, much harder thing to do, right? Building infrastructure is one thing. Building infrastructure for the modern day that betters society, but doesn't take away from the sustainability of our society, that's a much harder thing to do.
Absolutely, and it's such an enabler. It really does sit in the middle of the ecosystem. You can build schools and hospitals and create different jobs in different places, but if you don't have the mobility to connect and enable them, then you have some challenges there. So yeah, thanks so much, Vusi, for that feedback. It's been really instrumental in helping my team and I in launch this new initiative, because when you joined us last year, it was the 5th year that we ran the Mobility Startup Awards. It acted as a pitch competition, but we wanted to see how could we take it further. So this week we'll be introducing the new mobility investment projects. It's a year-round platform which offers mobility projects of all shapes and sizes. So startups, SMEs, corporate cities, provinces and national level projects. Exposure to access to funding stakeholders, in addition to mentorship, masterclasses, to ensure that they are investor pitch ready. And a number of them will also have the opportunity to pitch at the Smarter Mobility Africa Summit in October, where we'll just be working so hard to bring as many of the right stakeholders from the funding side together with these projects that are doing amazing things, but obviously need access to that funding.
Love it.
Thank you. And this project has actually been led by Elodie, who you had a chance to meet with last week, and she's been running a similar project for the last year that has showcased over $2 billion of projects at our sister event, the Africa's Green Economy Summit, as well as the Enlit Africa event, which took place last week. So we're targeting at least $1 billion of projects being showcased for this edition. So we've got about 16 weeks to get that together. I'm happy to say, and I don't want to say too much because I know Elodie is going to be sharing more information on Wednesday, but we've had over 40 projects that have applied to join just in the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
So there's obviously a huge demand for it. And we've hardly, begun marketing and tapping into some of the investor and project networks to see which other projects, but we're really happy with where it stands so far.
Love it. I mean, I love the aggregation and obviously for capital providers out there and asset owners out there as well. One of the challenges for the asset managers in the space is that a number of the projects tend to be erratic and it's hard to know the stage of development around those. And what I loved when you guys shared with me what you were doing was, in effect, you were creating a single home for any asset owner, asset allocator out there that has a mobility mandate to come and have a look and see what's there. And because you're doing the full strata from government institutions, nation states, provinces, cities, etc., all the way down to startups in the private sector, it means that if I am an asset allocator or an investor or a pension fund or any of these, and I have a mandate to look at mobility, I now have a single place that I can go to, and I can, understanding my criteria, I can also understand what's out there in the universe. And of course, for the project builders, it means immediately that you can test whether or not there's an appetite and there's going to be capital for your project, which, let me tell you, is a huge deal, right? Because a lot of project builders do a lot of the upfront work on risk. So I think what you guys are doing is actually going to be a game changer. I'm genuinely excited for what you're doing. The mobility as an asset class is new and burgeoning and growing, and building a platform around it is just such an incredible value add. So well done.
Thank you so much. And then lastly, just if there's any advice or requests that you might have for the projects or the funders across Africa regarding the initiative.
I think I'll make kind of two general requests. The first would be to asset allocators, right? For people raising capital, what a lot of people who raise capital don't understand is that institutions that deploy capital manage capital on behalf of asset owners, and often one of the challenges we've had in Africa specifically has been that our asset owners just haven't been moving fast enough to keep up with the pace of society's needs, right? And there is a need here to balance responsible investing, so to ensure that you're not irresponsible with the allocation of assets and the asset classes that you're putting them into, asset classes that are well regulated, etc. There's that part. But also there's a need here to ensure that you play a broader role in benefiting and growing society. And for me, I think to any asset manager, asset allocator out there, pension funds, private equity firms, debt funds, private debt, any who are going to have a look, would be to really just keep an open mind as they look at these projects. And as I often say to some of our partners when we're trying to raise capital, find the reason to say yes, not the reason to say no, right? Because there's a lot of reasons to say no, particularly in Africa. And then I would say to those building projects that it takes long. It really isn't. It's not an easy thing, as you know. It takes really long. There's a lot of work we need to do around educating our clients, educating the ecosystem, educating the market so that they understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. And all I would say to the project builders out there is be patient with yourself and be willing to face rejection, because long before we get substantial allocations and flows of capital, we're going to take a lot of rejection because just a lot of asset owners don't have mandates. And we need to educate them around how to build mandates for mobility as an asset class. There is no doubt in my mind, mobility is a fast-changing category. It's a hugely disruptive category. There's going to be incredible amounts of wealth being generated in this category because the demand is there and the supply hasn't yet met demand, and there's change in how the suppliers are supplying product for that demand. And all of those dynamics just make for such an exciting story that we truly can lead in. So to all in sundry, I would say, let's walk the path together, let's learn together, let's build together, let's develop together.
Absolutely. Vusi Thembekwayo, it's been amazing to speak with you once again. Thanks for your interest in the mobility space, and we'll see you in October.
Well, thank you to both Ben and Vusi for that exclusive insight. I'm not going to lie, the pressure is on. When I saw the reaction of Vusi on announcing the number of projects, but what a great motivation for us to deliver on that aspect. And Vusi mentioned something very important at the beginning, that mobility is a dignity question. And it really, and I think maybe you as well, and it really made me think about how we can support that basic need with our platform and with offering. And Ben mentioned as well that, yes, we had created during the past 5 years, now 6, a successful startup village, and it is time to take it to the next level. And after the success of Aegis and Enlit, we know that the project pitch across the full value chain is working. We have experienced the need and the eagerness of the project and investor to connect and engage on that journey together to drive that net zero goals and promoting smoother and smarter mobility in that matter. So indeed, from the startup level, SMEs to city and national infrastructure project, we really recognize the importance of this initiative that will transform the future of mobility for the good and people. We understand that they became a crucial part of that transition. So through VUCA and SMA, we really want to embrace that and provide the necessary support through platform and channels that we've been working on for a number of years now. I would say the main mission of what we're trying to create is really to bridge the gap, and I think Vusi would understand that very well, between the investor ecosystem and the project, because they often operate in silos. And that can lead to, unfortunately, missed opportunities. So through a strong and meticulous project review, consultation with partners and investors, we really want and can present strong projects that will make, I think, a really big impact. And obviously helping funds and investors to find more reason to say yes, just to go back on what Vusi mentioned earlier. So the mobility investment projects are really central, a very central part of a puzzle, I would say, to the vision of SMA, as they really demonstrate the growth potential of the industry. And again, I think it's really important to mention this. It's not just at an event. SMA is not just an event. And it's really important that we emphasize on that aspect. It's a fantastic opportunities for projects, for 30 plus projects at the show to pitch, but we are really committed to support projects globally across the continent with global investors, project owners, entrepreneurs, 365 days a year through digital platforms, mentorship, workshop, regular engagement. SMA is one of the touch points, but there's many more. So we really want to see how we can create momentum through those platforms up to the summit later on in the year. So to emphasize on what Ben said earlier, that put a lot of pressure on my shoulder, but this is what drives us. We did indeed receive 40 plus applications so far. And I can already share that the total pipeline so far is about $140 million. And I think it's, yeah, no pressure. So I'm really confident that with the team, we're going to get to that $1 billion. And it's very important that standard that we want to keep at VUCA is to really bring big tickets and a big portfolio on stage. So watch the space. We'll definitely bring this project. If you have a project that is driving smarter and smoother mobility across the continent, there's still time to apply. So if you're online right now, it's the perfect moment. We have extended our application until the 20th of June. So reach out to us or to the team. And I'm looking forward to see them. So thank you so much again for the opportunity, and I'll now give the floor back to the team.
Thank you so much, Elodie, and congratulations with having more than 40 applications and over $150 million already in the pipeline. That's incredible. Thank you. We look forward to your updates in a few weeks. And as you said, applications are still open for about just over another week. So the team will be sharing the information to make that application in the chats around the different social media platforms, and you'll get that information afterwards. Thanks, Elodie. We'll see you very soon.
Pleasure.
Bye, Elodie.
And thank you also, Elodie, for leading very nicely into the investment platform, which will live on the new Mobility Hub. So the Mobility Hub will be launched next week, and this will be launched as Africa's hub for mobility news and insights. There will be projects listed. There will be discussion areas, dialogue areas where different groups will be able to engage into dialogues specific to your interests within the industry. It's a place where there'll be a supplier directory. You can see suppliers within certain categories, news, insights, webinars, podcasts shared there. So it's taking what you probably experience once a week already from the SMA News, which is something that Anazi sends you every single Tuesday. It's taking that to the next level. It's giving Africa the consistent flow of content, news, insights, as well as a meeting place for stakeholders. So we're really looking forward to that. It's going to add so much value to your work and to the mission of embracing the new urban era through smarter mobility. It will be launched next week.
Yeah,
that's your
but
sneak peek.
they must still watch the newsletter on a Tuesday. In
Absolutely.
addition.
Absolutely. That newsletter is still coming around every single Tuesday. Amazing. So it's that time of the day once again. We now have the opportunity to announce 2 winners this time. So here we are. Tickets 1 and 2 of the 5. The business class passes will now be drawn. Let's spin that big wheel for the first name and see who has won a business class pass.
The Wheel of Fortune.
There we go. It's so tense. Isaac, you are the winner of a business class pass. If you're on the call and live with us today, so if you are, please come forward and let us and be shown. Let us know you're here within the Hopin platform. Otherwise, unfortunately, as I said before, we'll have to draw another winner. So we'll just give you 5 seconds. But in the meantime, we'll draw the next winner. So we've got 2 winners on this round. So if we can get that next winner up and ready to go.
Otherwise, I'm taking the tickets and I'm sharing them with my family.
Great. Winner number 2.
Harold.
Harold, let yourself be known on the Hopin chat. All you have to do is comment, I'm here, and that business class pass is yours. We're going to allow for just 5 more seconds. Again, if we don't have the winners, we will have to spin the wheel again and again, 2 more times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your
Okay,
time
we're going to have to spin it once again. I really hope someone wins today. Okay. Let's see. Faiz, are you with us on the Hopin platform? If you are, please let yourself be known. In the meantime, I just want to show you where some of the people are joining us from. So we have Brandon from Johannesburg, Kenneth from Midrand, Bamitale from Abuja, Dr. Shepherd from Pretoria, coming in from all over the world. Let's see.
Wow.
Do we have Faiz on the chat? We can't see Faiz.
I'll be Faiz.
Okay, we're going to do one more spin, and we'll see how we get on.
I'm lucky.
The next one. And the winner is Valencia. Sorry, it's coming up in small writing on my side. So Ryan said he can be any of these people. Okay, I guess we just had so many people signing up, which we really appreciate. And some of you are probably engaged in really busy meetings. So the show will go on and we'll come back to do the rest of the winners. Karen said, pick me. There we go. Okay, let's get on with the show. There's so much to cover with such little time. So let's have a look at this floor plan. The floor plan, which is filling up so quickly and there's so many amazing elements to it this year. Let's have a quick look at some of those. So firstly, I just want to remind you, and I'm sure you all know this, but honestly, in my view, the exhibition floor is the best way to meet people, especially if you have an exhibition stand, because you get the attendees that are walking the floor. They're going to the conference, they're going to go and grab coffee, they're going to some of the networking events that are organized, but they are also walking the exhibition floor. It's the easiest way to see who is doing what in the industry at this point in time. I attended Enlit Africa 3 weeks ago. I must have walked around the floor 3 times just because I wanted to see what are these different companies doing? What are these solution providers doing? What are these organizations doing on a policy level, on a strategic level for their business in the context at that event in energy. So make sure that you do have a place on the floor. It's really a great place to be. So we have 2 test track areas, the 4-wheel and the micro-mobility. We have 5 stages. We've got the mobility investment project village, as we've discussed, the delegate lunch area. We have a work zone as well. So if you're coming down for both the days, which we really recommend that you do, and you still have a few meetings or some work to tie up, don't worry, we've got you covered. You can still do that and have the odd hour here and there to get that work done. We have over 100 exhibitors from all over the world, and this is all taking place at the amazing Gallagher Convention Centre in Midrand, which is the middle of the Gauteng province, just 5 minutes away from a Gautrain station, Midrand station. So it's a great venue, a great place to be. And if you want to find out more about the exhibition floor, my team will be sharing a link in the chat so that you can book a meeting in with one of our team members to find out more about how you can get involved. It's filling up quickly. And they're getting a lot of requests at this point in time. So definitely have a conversation with them so they can understand your plans, your business, and then see how Smarter Mobility Africa as a platform across the year can support you in achieving those. Okay, let's see what else we've got coming up. The site visits, Anazi.
Yes, and this is an opportunity to go off the exhibition floor, maybe not, but to delve into a little bit more of a smaller classroom setting. We've got a lot coming up for this year, but just to give you a background of what we did last year, we visited the Ford plant, which showcased some of our latest new energy vehicles. So this ultra-modern facility stood out as a testament to Ford's commitment to quality, sustainability, and just pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the automotive industry. And then the second site visit was the Gibela state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Nigel. And this was just showcase some incredible work happening in South Africa's manufacturing and rail industry. So the delegates got to see an entire process of how to craft a modern commuter train for PRASA. And in addition to that, they saw high precision assembly lines all the way down to rigorous quality control measures. And it was just truly fascinating to see the intricate details that go into building these massive machines. But the best part is that we didn't just get to watch, but we also got to experience it all by hopping on a train. And it was just very, very much fun to ride. I know Ben also was the captain of the train at some point, so our lives were in danger. But I'm kidding, you did pretty well. But then, like, just to wrap up everything, we finished the site visit with some pictures, we got to networking, and of course, in true South African fashion, we ended off the day with a 7-color dish. And then, yeah, this was just so unforgettable, and we hope that you will be part of it this year.
Absolutely. The site visits is one of my favorite parts. I think it's amazing for people coming from outside of the province, but also those that are within the province. It's so amazing how many people haven't heard of that amazing railway factory, Gibela, and they're not aware of the incredible things happening there. So it's definitely one, whether you're from the area or you're coming in from outside of town or overseas, it's a great way to see what's happening on the ground. So the other key element we have is the ride and drive experiences. So this is something we've been running since 2019. We've had all sorts of vehicles that have been on show over the years. We've had vans, 3-wheelers, we've had trucks, we've had 2-wheelers, hybrids, electric vehicles. We had the hydrogen fuel cell vehicle that Toyota was showing last year. So it's a great way to see the different vehicles that are around, whether it's just that you want to see the variety, whether it's that you've not been inside one, you've not driven one yet, so you want to experience it, is a great way to do that. And it's all in one place over the course of those 2 days. So it's a very efficient way. Talking of efficiency, if you have a business class pass or a first class pass, you do get speedy boarding access. Speedy boarding means that, yeah, because it's going to get busy. You know, there's going to be many, many thousands of people there across the 2 days who would love to try out some of these vehicles. If you have a business class or a first class pass, you get speedy boarding access, which means that you get to skip the queue, and obviously it just protects your time, which I know is so precious. We have the indoor track, which will have the 2 and 3 wheelers. Again, similar benefits apply there. If you've got the business class and first class, you get speedy boarding. And the two, again, a lot of people haven't tried out some of these electric 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers. So definitely make the most of experiencing those different products. It's one of my favorite parts. Okay, the gala dinner. We launched this last year and it was incredible. I hope that some of you that are joining us today were able to join last year. It's a great opportunity to let your hair down and engage in networking on a much different dynamic, a much different level. It's, you can let your hair down, really engage in that quality networking, enjoy the music, the entertainment. Last year, we had the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa. We had that band that you see there on the stage doing some incredible things, beatboxing and dancing around. And one of the MECs actually sporadically got up on stage and kept us entertained for a good few minutes, dancing and singing. And it was definitely one of the highlights. So make the most of that. Those tickets, if you have a first class pass, that's included, or you can buy a specific gala dinner ticket and they'll be on sale very, very soon. Anything you wanted to add to the gala dinner, Anazi?
I just wanted to say my favorite part was when the MEC went on the stage and started getting everyone to dance. Definitely a highlight. I mean, that was a very good band as well.
It was brilliant. Let's see if we can get that video cut into a short or reel and added onto our social platforms. It was brilliant.
Definitely.
Right. One thing that I know is close to your heart, Anazi, and you've been running it for a good few years with Naz Lee from VUCA Group, is the Women in Mobility platform.
Yes, this is very close to my heart, and unfortunately, Naz can't be with me because she's in the DRC, and I know she'd share the same sentiment. But yeah, Women in Mobility, we launched it last year, and the idea was to empower women to lead from the front and break those barriers and boundaries within the mobility industry. So our hopes in future for this initiative are to create a lasting impact for women. This year, we want to honor and recognize these incredible contributions that women are putting in to shape the future of mobility. And we want to create a space for women to connect, to share ideas and inspire one another through mentorship and collaboration. So this is actually also an opportunity for the men in the room to support future generations, future female generations who want to pursue careers in the industry and to transform this industry to be more inclusive and successful. So we're really hoping that you join us this year in celebrating women's achievements and get involved in fostering a more inclusive future for our women. And then we go on to the workshops and training. Well, this year, I must say, for the first time in Smarter Mobility Africa, we are going to bring you an unprecedented training opportunity because we've got the world's best electric vehicle technician, the only AMI accredited master electric vehicles manager in the world. And for the first time, he will also be giving this type of training here in South Africa. So this isn't just an average lecture. It's very interactive, hands-on, and it's actually designed to get you under the hood of the vehicle, literally. So it's a great way to understand electric vehicle components and fast charging technology. And it's also an opportunity for your team to gain a competitive advantage and to have that confidence to master electric vehicles and optimize your fleets. So it's just the perfect time to just upskill your workforce and become the leader of the transition. Then we have an introduction to electric bus driver training. So it's a comprehensive driver training session, and it will equip you to with knowledge and expertise on how to operate these vehicles very safely and efficiently. And you will learn techniques to maximize the battery life and the range, along with troubleshooting some common issues to minimize the downtime. So this will translate to significant advantages for your company, such as reduced operating costs, you'll have enhanced passenger experience, and you'll have an improvement in your safety measures. Then the last training is an interactive workshop that will go beyond the sticker price and equip you with the knowledge and the tools to make informed decisions about ZEV adoption, that's zero emission vehicle adoption. So this bespoke opportunity for fleet managers and owners was going to delve deeper into total cost of ownership modeling, and it will help you compare the ZEV cost to your traditional vehicles over time. We'll also be able to explore some green financing options, and this is how it would also demonstrate how the dedicated funds will help support you with the ZEV transition. It aims to go beyond the theory, and it will help you to take these actionable next steps towards a roadmap for cost-effective and environmentally conscious fleet transition. So yeah, I'm very, very excited, and I'm looking forward to this because it's a new section in our program.
Oh, this is amazing, Anazi. So this is really a fleet manager, owner, or operator's dream to be able to jump into those training that exist. And I love that you've used the picture at the end of all those big trucks, because I think it does illustrate that many of the fleets out there, they have such a range of different vehicles, big, small, big trucks like this. Some might need refrigeration, some are for moving different types of products and so on and so forth. I think that what's being offered here is going to give that well-rounded opportunity to just understand how a fleet manager might be able to start taking decisions on transitioning their fleet today or in the next few years.
Exactly. And it's what a better way to put it into practice than to actually go outside of the classroom and see how it's done. Makes it easier for the fleet manager or the fleet owner to make those necessary decisions for their business.
Absolutely. Right, let's do a roundup because it's been a really busy hour that we've had. We've got some great details. Thank you so much, Elodie and Anazi, for sharing the information on these sections, both existing and new, that are coming forward. So let's have a look at what's happening across those 3 days, but also pre-event and post-event. Pre-event, we have monthly webinars that I'm sure you've been joining us every single month, a different webinar on a different topic. We have the supplier directory that will be featured on the Mobility Hub. So you'll get to list your product or service or business there. And for anyone looking for those services and products, they'll be able to easily find them. The mobility investment projects, which are already being listed within the platform and on our website. News and insights, which comes each week through our social media, through our SMA news, and will also start to feature on the Mobility Hub. The early bird tickets, which are live, you can access those on the website right now. And if you'd like to find out more, there's a form you can complete, and one of our team will be in touch just to find out, what you're looking to achieve, what some of your challenges, opportunities, or ideas are within your business right now, and just to see what the best fit for you might be in joining us in October. You'll be able to book your site visit and training. So all of that's going to be coming up very soon. So don't leave it until the last few days because they will fill up. They're very limited space. So make sure to reserve the site visit or the workshop that you'd like way ahead of the event. Then day one, just to recap on what's happening, we have the opening ceremony with an amazing keynote coming in from Dominic, who leads the Global Trust Project, looking at how trust is such a key element of whether we can embrace the new urban era through smarter mobility. We have the Green Fleet stage, the expanding public transport stage, the rail stage, and the active mobility and universal access stage. The mobility investment pitches will be happening on day one and on day two. And then we have the gala dinner taking place at the end of day one. On day two, we have the Women in Mobility. We have Green Fleet stage, expanding public transport, bus rapid transit, active mobility and universal access stage, the mobility pitches once again. The Exhibition Awards, so if you're exhibiting, there are awards up for grabs this year. And then across those 2 days, as you can see, we have the Mobility Investment Village, which will feature roughly over 60 different projects in mobility from across Africa looking for investment. There will be the full-scale exhibition, which we showed you the exhibition floor running for those 2 days, and the ride and drive experiences. And of course, in and amongst all of that, lots of learning and networking opportunities. Then on day 3, which is not the conference and exhibition, but it's a day focused on workshops and training, as well as those site visits as well. So full details will be listed with you very soon. But now that you know it's happening, make sure that you're aware of it. Get a first-class pass ticket if you want to be one of the first to secure your seat on any of those places. And we really look forward to you enjoying those. And then post-event, we'll continue with the monthly webinars. It will be October, November by then. Our supplier directory will be fuller than ever. The mobility investment projects will keep being listed, and all that information and updates being shared, news and insights, as well as the post-event report. We actually had one of our sponsors who really congratulated us on delivering that post-event report. They said that there are not many other events that deliver such a report, so we were very happy to hear that. Okay, I think it's that time of the day again, Inazi. We've got the
Drum roll.
tickets up for grabs. Yeah, we'll have to get some drum rolls in. But just whilst we're prepping the team, I just want to show some of the other people joining us. We have, and apologies if I'm announcing any names in the wrong way, but we have Oluwasen coming in from, oh, you're saying you're here, great. But also I see you're coming in from Lagos. We've got Ivan from Uganda. We have Diane, who's coming in, I think, from Cape Town, just saying, I got to drive the train, that's right. That was amazing.
That was Diane.
So let's get up the big wheel of fortune. Just see if the team's ready for the big wheel.
The wheel of fortune.
We've got the wheel of fortune, but do we have the team? Here we
DJ
go.
spin that wheel.
And the winner is Philip.
Philip.
Congratulations, Philip. Is Philip live with us on Hopin? Please come forward, Philip, if you are.
Philip, it is here.
And whilst we're waiting for Philip, we've got, I think, 4 more tickets to get through, if I'm not mistaken. So, oh, we've got 2 more. So 2 more tickets. So let's spin that wheel again. Fatai. Fatai, come forward if you are with us and claim your business class pass. Woo! Philip is here.
Philip is here. Where's Fatai?
Congratulations. And
Congratulations,
Fatai,
Philip.
do we have Fatai? Okay, let's give it another spin.
Last spin.
We have Ken.
Ken, wow,
Ken, you're a
that's
winner
my
of the
speaker.
business class pass. There we go. Let's give it another spin. Don't think we have Fatai here with us right now. One more spin. Ken, if you're with us. We have Sydney. Sydney, you could also be the winner of a business class pass. Okay, we'll give just a few more seconds. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move on if there are no claims, and we'll come back in a few more minutes with some more prizes coming up for grabs.
But
So
maybe we should take them
too many
through
bots.
Maybe we should tell them what the business class ticket offers, just so
great
that
idea,
we
Nazi.
can, appetize.
That's a great idea. So We don't have a slide here for that, so we'll have to read what it is. There's some great benefits included. Let's get that up. We do have a very nice page within the new program which is being launched in a few minutes. It tells you all about the tickets as well. But in the business class pass, you get your test track access, speedy boarding, exhibition floor access, expo drinks, access to the mobility investment pitches, access to the opening ceremony, access to all of the stages, a business lounge, lunch, teas, coffees, and then access to the mobility engagement party. So that's all up for grabs for Philip currently, but we'll be coming back to do some more winners. Now we have the program, which is live. So my colleague Olivia has shared that within the chat. It's going to be shared across all the different social platforms as well in due course. I think that will be shared afterwards. So we're going to be put behind the download form. Great.
That's amazing. A lot of people have been asking me. So this is the time.
It's finally here. So congratulations, Anansi, with this incredible program.
Yay! Teamwork.
So let's look at some of these numbers in impact. So what can we expect at Smarter Mobility Africa Summit? Over 2,000 attendees, over 30 project pitches. We'll have over 100 exhibitors, over 100 speakers. All of these attendees coming from over 50 countries and from at least over 200 cities. Our commitments are connecting cities, attracting global finance and investment to scale smarter mobility solutions, sharing the key information and solutions for fleet managers to transition to zero-emission vehicles, providing an accessible platform for startups, SMEs, and other projects, and then working towards the UN Sustainable Development Goals and the AU 2063 vision. So that form will be coming around soon, so keep an eye out for that new program. And let's just see who will be there, the audience that takes part at SMA Summit. It's fleet managers, owners and operators, it's transport operators, planners and authorities, investors, operation managers, infrastructure operators, policymakers, procurement, sales and marketing managers, business developers, CEOs, financial directors, managers, product managers, corporate mobility officers, energy managers, facility managers, urban planners, town planners, and business advisors and consultants. That's just a snapshot of the core audience, but obviously there are other key stakeholders that join. And of course, this couldn't be possible without our sponsors, partners, hosts, and exhibitors. So we'd like to thank our hosting partners, the Gauteng Department of Roads and Transport, the hosting province, G-Fleet, and Transport Authority of Gauteng. It's been the hosting province for 6 years now. Our platinum sponsor so far is Visa. Thank you very much for joining us. And we had an amazing webinar with Visa 2 months ago. Some of the exhibitors listed here, but there's more on the floor and more coming forward. ACES, Geotab Africa, Kencart and Teltonica. It's amazing the work that you're doing. And then our supporting partners, we have a number of association partners and many, many media partners that are spreading the word to their members and to their audiences. And many are contributing towards the program and the whole event in many, many different ways. So if your logo isn't listed there, it will be very, very soon. So thank you everyone who is part of the event. As you can imagine, lots and lots to pull together in the last few weeks. And this is just the launch. It's just the first announcement. Every day and every week now, there'll be so much more coming your way for this incredible event, Smarter Mobility Africa Summit. Okay, I think we have coming up next is actually another round of tickets. These are the final round of tickets. So let's hope that we can award some winners with some business class passes. So we get the Wheel of Fortune ready. Let's give it a big spin.
I know I would definitely want to be present for this. I mean, if I was a delegate, you know.
Me too. Paul Rogerson. if you could come forward, Paul. And then whilst we're waiting for Paul, let's give the Wheel of Fortune another spin.
There's just so much value from this ticket. Beatrice. You're a lucky winner, Beatrice. Let's hope Beatrice is online, otherwise we're spinning that Wheel of Fortune once again. There's a lot of names. A lot of people attending from LinkedIn, X, YouTube. Mba Kalechi. You're a winner. There's so much value from this ticket. How much is this ticket worth again? You get to save.
Almost 10,000 Rand.
Oh my word.
This is the ticket to get. This is the ticket to get. I can see that these winners aren't coming forward. We're just going to keep spinning. We might have to run another competition. We've had one winner. Let's have 2 more spins. Let's switch the music up as well, because this one, we'll get a bit of rock. It's not my genre, but it's probably going to liven us up. Nicholas
Brooks.
Nicholas Brooks. I'm sure Nicholas is on the call with us.
Nicholas, I'll be very disappointed if you're not online. Me personally.
Should we have another spin and see who else?
I'm quite enjoying this track, surprisingly.
Ollie
Gospel. Ollie Gospel, are you there? Pretty sure she is.
Okay, the final ticket of today, and then we are going to bring our team up for a picture.
Enoch.
Let's see.
Enoch.
Oh, Enoch!
Yeah,
wow, yeah. Well, Enoch was live on the chats earlier.
Hopefully he
I'm
didn't
sure
drop
Enoch's
off.
here. Enoch, I hope you're still with us. Tanaka said we got to check because someone might have fainted with the excitement of winning the ticket. So yeah, that's true. There may be a load of people who fainted. Hopefully they're back on soon. Okay, Enoch, you have a few seconds to come forward. Yep, there we go. Brilliant.
Oh, yay.
All right. So look, guys, we'll do some more competitions. I think what we'll do is we'll put those tickets into the SMA newsletter coming out on Tuesday next week. If you're not already signed up for that newsletter, it comes out every Tuesday. The team will share the link to subscribe to SMA News, and all you have to do is open the email and the instructions will be in there. Tickets up for grabs. Let's do this, guys. Okay, so let's get our team ready. We want to do a team photo. We've got an amazing team, so let's get them up on screen. We'll also just remind you, this team, they are assisting cities to embrace the new urban era. They work really hard all year round. We have a core team that you'll see on the screen, and then we have a much bigger team. Some of them are in DRC, some are in Cape Town, some are all over the world, and they're behind the scenes making sure that these events can happen. So let's bring up, we have Elodie as well, and they're trying to hide away. So who else do we have? We have Rhea. What's the pink screen? Wow, okay. Cindy, we've got to get Cindy out. You could maybe join Rhea. Do we have David, the famous David? Let's see if David can join us. Hopefully David can join us. If not, we're going to Photoshop David. So thanks, team. Thanks, everyone. You're doing great work. We have 16 weeks until Smarter Mobility Africa Summit launches. It takes place the 2nd to the 4th of October during October Transport Month and during the Africa Mobility Month. Don't forget, there's everything that goes in between the next 16 weeks, the Mobility Hub. Everyone's mic is on, by the way, so just in case anybody does anything wild. We're really looking forward to hosting you in October. We're going to bring Cindy up. Can't get her camera up. Rhea, the pink camera's gone. We'll just wait for them to come up. But I think what we'll do in the meantime, one more question for the audience. Thank you so much for being so engaging across all the platforms. Please, can you share, what are you most excited about from all that we've discussed? Let's get that slide up that just talks about the whole ecosystem that takes place. From everything that's taken place, what are you most excited about? What are you most excited about? Are you most excited about the test drives? Are you most excited about the green fleet stage, the expanding public transport stage, the rail stage, the what's the other stages? The expanding public transport stage, the active mobility and universal access stage. What are you most excited about? We have green mobility coming up in the chat. We have excited about the public transport stage. We have Becky with a nice message. Thank you. Well done, everyone. This is the impressive work. I see the word spicy. I guess it's because it's quite hot in this room. What else have we got? Some other nice messages. Thank you. We have Courage, who's joining us from Ghana. Thank you so much. Okay. Thanks, guys. We're really looking forward to seeing you in October. If you've got any questions, queries, just get in touch with us. You can do that on the website. We have a live chat. You can fill out a form and our team will be in touch. You can go onto any of our socials and message us and we'll be in touch. We've got Women in Mobility, excited about the local production of new mobility, public transport stage and the EV technician workshop, public transport and NMT expansion and environmental improvements. This is great. Thank you, team. Right, we don't have David, but we've got the rest of the gang. We're gonna have to Photoshop David in. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll give a nice wave as we just say goodbye. We're really excited to see you in Johannesburg in October. And of course, if you've got any ideas or suggestions, thanks, Anazi, Rhea.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and hope to see you guys all at SMA.